All right, it is Tuesday morning. I got the world record breaker here with me, Big Matty Tack.
What's up?
We did legs yesterday, and my legs are toasted.
Yeah.
How you feel?
Pretty bad.
Yeah?
So yesterday, when we squat, we don't isolate. So in the areas that we were focusing on yesterday, which is right around the kneecap, my legs did not want to function until about noon yesterday. So we finished training about 6:15 or 20 in the morning.
Right.
So I literally went back and rested until lunch. And then I was able to walk around and go see Easy E's grave. I found that.
Easy E's great. We're in California, if you guys didn't know.
Yeah. So the isolation part of it really rocked me, but everything else recovered quickly. And then today my legs feel fine.
I love that. So just so you understand, world record breaker, power lifter, the man. And what he means by he doesn't isolate, in a sense, what he's saying is, I pinpoint. I'm working around the kneecap. I'm working the glute hamstring tie-in, where as a power lifter, you are functionally correct. And so you're translating that weight over the entire body. So it's different in the sense of he's strengthening his entire body where I'm just pinpointing. So it's just a little different training.
Yeah.
For what we did yesterday. And today we're doing chest. And I wanted to say this because when I talk to somebody, I want that level of understanding about the same so they can bounce off of each other. And something that I talk about is when I do inclines, I'm doing that, not that it's better than bench press. I'm not saying that it's better than bench press. If you're trying to get a big bench, you got to do bench press. If you're trying to be a power lifter, you got to do bench press. What I say is for me and what I'm trying to develop, my bench press can still go up if I do inclines. And on top of that, it's developing the shape that I want. But you said some great things. And we're going to explain this. So tell them about how you bench press and why.
So the bench
what has
press,
happened because of that and what's not happened because of that.
So
All right, we're doing a little warm-ups. We're going inside the line. Now technically you can go all the way to outside the line, but we're gonna stay focused inside, a little more arm, bringing it down, warm it up. Watch control. Nice and slow coming down, explode coming up. And again, just warming up still. Low reps to warm up, save all the energy. And again, if you guys feel like you're tired, like we did legs yesterday, so you might not have as much. So really save it on the warm-ups. Get the blood flowing, but save it. And then we'll get to some heavy stuff and do some reps. Oh, reps.
met up with George Halbert. I'm sure you've heard of him.
Yep.
Broke 12 world records in the bench. When I was sitting down bench pressing, I was close to a 500-pound bencher at 20 years old, right at 500.
20, around 500. With
competition.
similarities
Yeah.
with us. It was ridiculous because we're both high school graduates at 272 pounds.
Yeah.
And our strength was ridiculous at that time.
Yeah.
You got me on the bench.
Yeah.
You're 20, that's a 500 or so. Again, you guys, just so you understand, when you're saying to our or my age, you want to be there. Be there at 20. You know, that's okay. Sorry.
Get it. All the way through. Good. I'm benching at that, and the first thing I get done doing some max effort exercise, we're doing like a floor press or something flat. Mm-hmm. And George comes up to me and grabs the back of my tricep and goes, "Your arms are bitch." And he was like, instead of me being like, guy, I'm not going to listen to him. I said, all right, I'm going to go home and start focusing my training on my arms. 6 months later, bench 550. So what I was doing was I was benching with all pec and all anterior delt because I was coming from a small town. Nobody knew what they were doing.
Right.
And he's like, look, that'll get you places, but it's not going to get you there very long because you're going to start having shoulder problems.
Oh, I love this.
So,
this is golden,
so I
guys.
started training
Golden.
tries. Well, I never worked on pec development. Zero. And if you read a lot of my stuff, I'm just now doing flies and things like that because I'm not really competing. So the point of it is my flat bench was never trying to develop pecs. It was all trying to develop arms for longevity, making sure that the arm is the main mover and the lat is the main stabilizer.
Do me a favor. Just Whoa. So, you guys see, we're doing ones at 405, and that was our last of the warm-ups. And now we will be, we're gonna hit 3 sets of 3 at 405 to start the workout. Everything else before this was fun, talking, giving you guys information. We're gonna turn on the volume here in a bit and get a little crazy. How good does he look in that shirt, though?
Pretty good.
Legends never die, baby.
Get it. 1. Get it. 2. Good. One more. Get it. Good.
Let's go. Let's go. Oh yeah. Look at that. Nice. Boom. Yeah. Go. Boom. Beautiful. So you and me were talking about this, and no disrespect again. I'm not saying this. I'm just saying that maybe, just like this, you didn't learn the proper way to do this. Show us how a bodybuilder or somebody that's new to fitness, in a sense, would bench press.
Okay,
Where's the elbows?
So the elbows are going to stay outward, and the chest is going to work with the scapula and actually unlock the scapula.
There we go.
So that the chest actually does this kind of work you can see.
So again, it's the same thing. For when I see when they're bench pressing, they're like this.
Yep.
Now, watch.
So now what we teach the bench is we keep the shoulder blade back, and we keep this arch.
Come around the back for a sec. See this?
And then what we do
Contracted.
is, once we get this locked, this doesn't leave.
This
And
stays
then
like this.
I bend the elbow, and then I straighten the elbow, but see my back never unlocks. There's 2 things that does.
Did you get that? Did you see that?
Yeah.
So, and again, the elbows are where from the front?
The elbows are straight down and straight up.
Come this way.
They never turn like this.
Come on over here.
They stay in tight, and they stay like this, just like a scissor. But as you can see, my chest isn't hardly even flexing.
There we go.
There's 2 things that does. One, protects the shoulder.
Okay.
So if I only bend at the elbow and straighten at the elbow, this thing never really gets worked that much.
Right.
2, it also protects this area from overpowering, because naturally, most people are going to be stronger here. Their neurological connection here is way high, but back here is not. So you almost have to turn this off to be a great bench presser and turn this on constantly.
So this leads me into what I was going to say, but again, I love that you guys are just laying down and you're powering and you're benching and you're like this and everything's moving, but you'll notice a lot of guys will have these great shoulders, no chest, no arms, and they're benching all day long. It's because what they're doing is they're basically just rotating the whole time their shoulders. This is how they're benching.
Yep.
And so you guys come back and go, hey, I hurt my shoulder benching, or I pulled my pec. Guys, drop. This is it. Which leads me to show you, this is here, and the chest is up, and if you're laying down flat, what's that developing more of? You can see that. Pulling it in, exploding up, boom. But again, you can kind of see the angle we're pushing. Elbows are both down, keeping it safe, upper chest. You got fitness guys like Jeff Bosley.
Get it. 1. Get it. 2. Last one. Get it. All the way through. Finish. 3. Good. If laying down flat, what that's going to develop is more the lower pec down here.
But we're
versus-
men,
Right. So we already
and
have
we
that.
already have a lower chest.
Yeah. So where you notice powerlifters deficient at the collarbone, they don't have the pec that goes, right? It just goes and then like boom down at the bottom,
Right.
because of the angle.
The angle, and so then it goes back to what I'm saying is that's why I haven't done a lot of flat bench lately. I stay with the incline because on stage I need to be able to show that upper chest, and I need to have, truthfully, an upper chest makes that action hero on screen kind of guy. You see some great action heroes and their bodies on screen. They may not be the biggest guys, but it looks pleasing because it's got a nice upper chest. Again, we're already born with a lower chest.
Yeah, and the big third thing that does when you set that way, the lats back, is it forces your sternum to stay high, which is a shorter distance. So if I keep my shoulder blades back, here's the distance of the bar. So this is as far as I gotta move it. If I unlock my shoulder blade, I
It's that much
increase
more.
distance. So the trick is keep the distance short, keep the angle pretty severe as far as downward, and then keep the shoulders back so you don't hurt your shoulder.
Right. All right. So this is the reasons why we do what we do. Again, longevity, a world record breaker. So again, take the notes, play with this, have fun with this.
Yep. And remember that me and Mike asked me to do something with him yesterday, and a lot of things I've never done, did well at them. You come and do stuff that I do, you do well at it. The trick is that can you be proficient at any movement somebody comes at you with? So today we're going to do inclines.
Yep.
I do inclines twice a year.
And he'll probably crush me. So get
Or
ready
at
for
least
this.
stay up.
So this is the fun stuff. I mean, this stuff is it's first of all just great training with you, just because of the knowledge and the stuff we've been in there. And I know you guys got a lot of experts out there, and I know social media is bombarding you with experts. Understand that if you're doing this and you really want to do this for a long period of time and you want to get better, you got to stay injury free, or you got to be able to come back from injury. So what we're trying to teach you today is just a lot of ways to come back from injury, how to stay injury free, and keep developing and getting better.
Yep. And the key is keep the pressure off of the main areas that most people get hurt. So if you're pulling pecs and you're pulling shoulders, you hear about people like that all the time at the gym, guaranteed technique is off.
Yeah. And again, you guys will ask, well, how can you always go heavy? How can you always go heavy? Yeah, we're going heavy, but we're going heavy for that day. And then we're also going heavy for a way that's safe and we're trying to develop more. So it's a little different than the guy, listen, you can get hurt doing anything. You can go do a Nautilus machine and get hurt. We're not saying you don't get hurt. We're just saying the percentages are much less if you just train
And the
smarter.
severity of the injury is much less. So you recover, and then maybe instead of, oh man, I got to back around what I wanted to do for 2 months, you only got to back around what you had to do for one workout.
It's golden, guys. Golden, man.
Come on, big pecs. Here we go. There it is. Set it. Get it. 1. Good. Stay tight now. Come on. Get it. 2. Good. 1 more. Come on, buddy. Get it. All the way. Finish. 10 pounds.
Woo. There we go. So, cool thing about this is, a week out from a show, guest posing, dieting down again. Again, we'll talk about nutrition and off season, getting ready for shows, getting your strength back, filling out, compared to dieting down. But one thing that, no matter if we're dieting or not dieting, is you should be able to go back to that weight and that strength. Again, connective tissue and the stuff that we've built over years. Obviously, we feel better eating. But the fun part for me is that battle within myself of when I don't have food and still get to get that fight in.
Have to push.
Wow, yeah, it's that switch. You can't be the same guy outside as you are in the gym.
The longevity of everything is learning to enjoy the grind and not always the feeling of success. And if you have to have that feeling of success, try it in different ways. Don't just have success in one avenue. Have success in getting strong when you're lean, strong when you're thick, you know, mentally tough when you're dieted down, all those things.
That right there's the clip. That what he just said.
Enjoy the grind.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. And just how you put it. Wants the explosion. Wants the control coming down and explode up. Hup. Watch control. Boom. See that? See that control? And explode back up. And again, manhandling that shit. Boom. That's the speed. That's the mind and muscle there. And again, we're talking about a power lifter that both, I mean, obviously it's momentum, using the speed to get those huge lifts, but he also breaks it down to where it's complete control. So it's beautiful to watch.
The last time I saw you, we were doing this for fives. I weighed 295. Now I weigh 270. So this for three is not crazy easy, but I just enjoy pushing hard, you know? So that's the key, just enjoy pushing hard.
I love that. I love that. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, hey, what's my percentages? What's my thing? And it's like, if you're eating right and you're trying to get stronger, that's when the percentages come in. When you're dieting down in this state, it's about that day-to-day battle, like you said, mentally.
Yeah.
What can you do? You're not going to feel great all the time. You're going to have the hardships.
Yeah. It's like looking at everything like a pie chart. Give 100% of what your pie chart shows you can give that day. Don't worry about 100% of your best pie chart or your best ever. Go as hard as you can that day. That's why the Russians had training force maximums and competition force maximums. They based stuff they could do in competition and they based stuff they could do day to day. And 90% of their training was based on the day-to-day training, not the competitions.
Here we go. Finish this bad boy out. Come on, Bruce. Get this. Boom. Nice. Nice. Finish it. That's my boy. That's my boy. Woo.
You know what I mean? Like I had to eat 6,500, 7,000 calories a day to weigh 300. And to do that, I couldn't do it clean. At least at that time, I thought I couldn't. So for the last 25 years, I just ate whatever the fuck I felt like eating.
Right.
And I didn't gain a lot of fat, but I wasn't lean either. So now working on that next discipline set and having all this base muscle, you know.
So that's the one thing I guess we're different at, if I'm understanding correctly, because you have to take in such a high amount of calories to keep your weight up.
Yeah, and a lot of it's keeping my power up. I could tell
Yeah,
immediately if I didn't have 500-600 grams of carbs a day, I didn't have that out of the hole and that pull on the deadlift and that ferocity on the bench. You could feel
Which
flat
helps.
literally in days.
Yeah.
Of watching a little bit of what you eat, you could feel flatter in days. But I knew that that wasn't the right way for me to go anymore because eventually eating that style, your health is not going to allow you to stay that big.
Yeah.
Where I'm looking at you and Stan and those guys going, look, I need to look like that at 50, even if my bench isn't 620 anymore, it's only 560. Well, if I keep going this way, I'm going to bench 315 because I'm going to be sicker than
Exactly.
type 2 diabetic or whatever, and I didn't want to do that, you know.
I say that because I try to formulate that and explain that. People will look at me and go, wow, you're so strong. I'm strong relative.
Yeah.
But I'm not as strong as I was.
Yeah.
The same thing, 500 on the inclines. Okay, I'm okay with 400 on the inclines at this stage. But obviously, nobody gets better with age.
Right.
You're going to be a percentage of. So try to be a freak at 20. So
Yeah.
you're
Have something to lean on.
yeah.
If you're already a 600-pound bencher, 500 for you is relatively not that strong, but to everybody else,
To
it's
everybody else in the
insane.
world, it's insane. Right.
So, and that's where I think we're both in that same, I'm in that boat now to the point that I got to be like, okay, it's a health to strength ratio now. It's not all or nothing.
Right.
And I think for 99.9% of the population, unless you're going to try to break a world record, which is only a handful of guys in each generation are going to be able to do, don't trade your health to gain 20 pounds in your bench,
It's.
you know?
Are you guys listening to this? And I try to say this, and I know there's that 1% out there. When I'm talking, again, like he just said, yeah, for that 1% or that small percentage who wants to be the very, very best for that moment, 100%. Go to town. Go ballistic. But for everybody else after that, or as you're trying to do this, there's a percentage of where are you healthy and where are you still getting better, or where are you healthy and what can you live with is the aspect of what we're doing. I think such a small percentage of people will go, wait a minute, no, I want to be the greatest there is in the world.
Yeah.
Well, be the greatest you can be.
Yeah.
There's nobody in the health and fitness world that's... I was on stage in 1983. I don't know if you were born then.
79.
Okay, so, and I'm still training in the gym, and I'm still at the peak of the industry. I'm not just relevant, but I'm leading the industry.
Yep.
And it's not because I'm the best. And let me say this again, I'm not the biggest, I'm not the strongest, I'm not the greatest bodybuilder. It's because I'm a percentage of everything, a high percentage of everything, but able to keep the health and the injury free. And that's what's kept me in the game.
Come on. 6, 7, and 8. Good. 9. Good. Yep. 10. Yep. 11. Yep. 12. Good.
Change up the angles a bit. Stretching it. Nice, nice. We're on the side here. Great range of motion. Makes it look pretty. Now, it's not heavy weight for us. 70 pounds, incline flies. Really just opening up that chest now. We did some power. The great thing about dieting down and still getting in that heavy work is you don't need to be in the gym for 6 hours. Less is more at this point. Now, at this point, we're just coming in, we're hitting it, hit about 2 or 3 exercises after the power movement, and we're done.
You haven't been the biggest or the strongest, but you've been really close. And that's the trick, is you've been able to maintain that for many, many years because you've had that thought pattern versus, I'm gonna be the best bodybuilder in the world. You probably would have had to retire 10 years ago.
If not 20.
Right. You're gonna give something up for that. Versus, I think you have to ask yourself, what are you willing to give up to be the best for a short time? I mean, I broke 3 world records, and all 3 of those world records are gone. They're not mine anymore. Because I was the best for a year, or I was the best for 6 months. And the amount of work and effort it took to do that, I'm totally fine with it. But for most people, they wouldn't be able to withstand that.
Yep.
To train 25 years for your world record to last 2 months or 6 months.
Yeah, that's again, very best in the world for a moment. To maintain the very best in the world, it's just, you're giving up so much other part of your life. And like us, we're entrepreneurs, we're doing business now. And so there's a give and take. Our battle or our fight now is completely different, but it just is motivating. For you now, it is slicing and dicing for the real first time while keeping your strength. You guys don't understand how solid this man is. The bar is not as hard as this guy is. So to be able to see the change over the next few months is going to be cool to see. You slicing and dicing, and a whole new level of training in a sense.
And it's all
peaking.
about trying to push yourself, increase your limits. I think that probably in the world, people understanding percentages and speed and training of that nature, I'm probably one of the best. But my deficiency was nutrition. My deficiency was all those things. So now I want to be good at that with keeping the other stuff that I've learned for 25 years to where I'm constantly growing, but I'm gonna have to grow a different way because that way I was completely peaked. There was nowhere for me to go in that position anymore.
It's cool. In one direction, you peaked and you're the greatest in the world. And now you're gonna go a different direction and you get a peak again, which is so cool because it's just more goals and more things for you to attempt. Which
it's all
is
about being a goal chaser, no matter what it is.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Gonna get a little bit more flexibility.
Okay.
Purposely.
Two.
You can talk to him.
3. There you go. Come on. 4. So by keeping it over his head and pulling it back, he's really focusing on that upper pec, and getting a little bit of the anterior delt involved in that movement. So this is a good variation. It's almost between an incline and a military as far as what kind of muscles it's going to hypertrophy. Get it? Good. Get it? Good. Good. What I like training with Mike is even at my stage where I've tried everything, I always see a new exercise that he's doing that I've never really thought of. It's a completely different mindset with some of this stuff.
So for me, I was going behind the head where from the delt will work, upper chest. Now see, same thing. Shoot down the pipe here. You can see how the arm is back here. So what's happening is there's got to be a complete isolation and squeeze, and you can't relax. Now, if you take it up just 2 inches, you're relaxing up at the top.
Yeah,
But we're keeping focus right here. You're gonna fatigue quicker. Nice. Come on, playboy. Come on. Good. Rack stack.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nice, right? I was having Brian Shaw do that.
Yeah.
We were even exaggerating even further, all the way back and around. Loved it, but again, I think the great thing about working with elites around the world is we all pick up things from each other. And the similarities on the mindset.
Yeah.
Is
Well, it's like me showing you all that speed work we did. You know?
We did our power, we did our flexibility training, opening up. Now we're gonna do an over-exaggerated decline. Just worrying about the press here. Keeping it up top. My ass is completely off the bench.
So he's actually making this machine even more of a decline by changing his angle.
Some of the great exercises are floor press for power. Now you can just see it's a smaller motion. Don't worry about going all the way back, guys. Relax, we've done this. Now, boom. Look at that. Again, by keeping the butt off and rotating down, it's even more of a decline. We look at that insertion and line, boom. Nice.
Good. Get it. Good.
That's my boy. 5, 6. Yeah. 7. 8. Come here, look at this. So what you notice without noticing is that regardless of how much he pushes, this never happens. So again, when I'm telling you guys to hold those shoulders back, in pinch, pull, this is it. This is not it. And I see so many of you guys moving it. So again, lock those shoulders back.
For us, I don't know for you, but for us, we focus, even if it's pec day, we focus through the elbow. The pec fires secondarily. That can help you keep those shoulder blades back. So you're focusing this, even though this is still working, you don't keep this primary thought, it's here. And then that forces the shoulder to stay back without. It's like a secondary, you let
I guess
pec
it's
secondarily
secondary,
go.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess for me, that's a great way to analyze it and look at it. How he's talking about it.
I can feel my pecs getting killed on this, but I'm not letting it change my technique.
Right.
Because I'm
Right.
thinking through the elbow. And then I think maybe that might help some people.
Yep,
do
I think it will.
correctly.
If that translates, you guys understand that? Great. For me, it's just proper form in a sense.
Yeah.
And there's times that I will release the shoulder, but not with this kind of weight.
Yeah.
I'd drop the weight, and then I'd rotate
Yeah.
to do different isolations. I'll drop my back down. I'll get rid of the arch.
Yeah.
And I talk about that with you guys. But again, it's less weight.
Yeah.
And it's a secondary, and it's putting us in a weak position.
Yeah.
But for the most part, if you got shoulder problems or anything like that,
Yeah.
some of the guys I train with don't have shoulders because of cancer,
Yeah.
and their shoulder was removed, or other guys their shoulders are so impinged from damage.
Yeah.
But in this kind of an exercise, again, the shoulder movement is so minute,
Yeah.
even though your arms are moving the whole way.
Yep. 2. Yep. 3. Yep. 4. Yep. 5. Yep. 6. Good. Come on. Yep. 7. Yep. 8. Yep. 9. Come on, big pecs. Let's go. Yep. 10. Good job.
Look at this. See the rotation? Look at that. See the elbows? Come around to the front. Behind the chest. Look at that. Beautiful. Whew.
Hi, I'm a big fan of yours.
Oh, thanks. What's your name?
My name's Kaylee.
Pleasure,
Yeah,
Michael.
I'm actually from
This is Big Matt.
I'm actually here visiting from Arkansas, and I walked in earlier and I saw you, and I was like,
Well, it's a pleasure. You look great.
oh, so fat. So fat.
Jacked.
Can I take a picture
Yeah,
of you?
absolutely.
I have a little 9-month-old German Shepherd at home.
Ready?
Middle lock. Nice, good stretch. Just filling it up now. All the way through. And I touch his nipple on that. So.
It's like a lightning bolt struck the tip of my penis.
Come on, step. We did 3 sets on incline, a couple sets of moderate weight on incline flies, then we went declines. Only did really 2 sets bypassing the warm-ups. 2 sets here, and that's it for the day. Good pull, letting it stretch, not rushing it. Even though we're doing a set of 20, we're still doing singles until it adds up to 20. That's one of the big things that I see people, as soon as you tell them to do a big number, they start going through the reps. It's still singles as you build up to 20. So the form doesn't really change. If we're doing 30 reps or we're doing 5 reps.
I always thought with that kind of stuff, a good thing that kept that in mind was always having a 1 second pause at the end of the motion. Just stop a second, separate concentric and eccentric phase for just a split second, and then you're doing 20 singles.
20 singles.
You can't really bounce.
Right. And so, yeah, if you heard what he just said, it's almost like stopping every time you do it. Like when we're doing our 20s at 405 or 500, it's up, stop, go, boom, boom. So same thing for anything you're doing here. Your 20 reps, don't try to go through 20 short in the range. That's not the point. Dude, that was crazy. Knowledgeable. Awesome. Love that. You guys are gonna love this video. This thing's gonna go ballistic. Try it, and try it do this style of working out for the next year, and then touch base with us.
Yeah.
Show us how much your bench goes up.
Yeah.
And see what your chest looks like after the fact. All right, guys, we both got YouTube channels, so subscribe. You want to give them your YouTube channel?
I'm on Winning Strength on YouTube, and Real Matt Wenning on Instagram.
And I am Donald Trump on Instagram. Oh, wait, no, that's not. It's Michael Hearn. Find me.